We've been walking for hours. We've got to quicken our pace. The Lich King is defenseless without us.
I left many of my warriors at Icecrown before I came to find you, Death Knight. They will hold the line for as long as they are able.
Tell me, where are all of your people? Shouldn't there be Nerubians around here, undead or otherwise?
I've been wondering about that myself. Something must have driven them all off.
We did, you rotting bastards! We've been watching you all along!
Muradin's dwarves. Impossible. Doesn't anyone stay dead anymore?
We've been wandering this forsaken land ever since you killed Muradin and left us to rot Arthas. Our leader, Baelgun, led us into the ruined city to survive. But there's no way we're letting you in.
We have no time for these games. Saphiron, attack! Well done, mighty Saphiron. I wish we could take you with us, but the confines of the Dark Earth are no place for you.
The Lich King's time is running short. We must hurry.
Speak, fool. Finally.
For Kazmatan!
No one orders me around.
A pint for every ghoul you blast!
Fitness coward.
My might cannot be matched.
Tread lightly. What is it now? Frostborn hungers. Finally.
Set off the charges! Blow the bridge before they get across!
No! Stop them before they...
That was for Muradin. Now you'll never get across.
There are other passages through the labyrinth, Death Knight. We will find another way.
This is more like it. Speak, fool. Tread lightly. Of the sure son. What is it now? No one orders me around.
I have heard the summons. By
Tread lightly.
Nerub.
Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. What is it now?
Speak.
No one orders me around. Faithless coward. Finally. Ah, at last.
Time is fleeting.
What is it now? Finally.
Speak.
Gold. No one. We should take this with us. This is more like it. Ah, at last.
I serve
What is it
only the
now?
frozen throne.
Speak, fool. What is it now? These Nerubians are your kin. Why are they hostile to us?
Many of us who fell during the War of the Spider were brought back to serve the Lich King. These warriors, however, never died. Foolishly, they still fight to liberate Nerub from the Scourge.
This is more like it. This place looks like an old storage silo. It's a dead end, Anub'arak.
There must be a hidden passage somewhere. We Nerubians were crafty engineers in our time.
At last.
This is an ancient Nerubian hoarding cell. We kept most of our treasures hidden in chambers like this. The passage to the lower depths lies just beyond this room.
Great. As long as we're here, we can take some of these items with us.
What is it?
Speak, fool. Now, Frostborn. Tread lightly. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
Don't even try it, you bastard! That there treasure belongs to the dwarves!
This treasure belongs to the Lich King, little creature. We, his servants, shall take what we will.
What is it now? No one orders me.
I have heard the summons. Oblivion awaits.
Speak, fool. Your pain shall be legendary.
This is for Muradin, you bastards!
Tread lightly. What is it? At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Tread
It's
lightly.
them! Blast them!
No one orders me.
Speak.
What is it now? Tread lightly. Finally. You will know everything.
I serve only the frozen throne.
What is it now? Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. At last.
Time is
Damned undead! Slay them all!
I'll consume the living and the dead.
No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
Shoot anything that shuffles or skitters!
This is more like it. Finally. What is it now? No one orders me around. Speak, fool. At last. Finally. At last.
I remember you, evil prince. You're the one that killed poor Muradin.
Get over it already.
I won't let you through this door, traitor. The recent quakes have awakened dark things under the ice. Ancient, horrid things. We vowed to keep them locked where they are.
We'll take our chances, dwarf. We're going through that door, one way or another. This is more like it.
Our forces are under attack.
I serve only the frozen
Tread
throne.
lightly. Frostborn hungers. What is it now? This is more like it.
You'll see. What's done is done.
Tread lightly. Finally.
Your name, my might cannot match.
What is it now? Tread lightly. At last.
I serve only the frozen throne.
No one orders me around.
Your choice.
Tread lightly. This is more like it. Finally. Speak, fool. Now, Frostborn. You will know endless torment.
I have heard the summons.
Tread lightly. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. Finally. This is more like it. The air smells awful in here. Something doesn't feel right.
If the dwarf's story was true, there's no telling what awaits us in the darkness. This stairwell leads into the heart of the old Nerubian Empire. We must be cautious.
By all means. You first.
We have entered the Old Kingdom. Be wary, Death Knight. Whatever scared the dwarves still lurks down here somewhere.
Finally. Frostborn hungers. Finally.
My wait! The towers on either side are rigged to fire bolts of frost. This hallway is a death trap.
Can't we disable them?
The circular hatch in the far wall is an aqueduct plug. If we can open it, the water might flood the firing mechanisms and disable the entire trap.
Finally. This is more like it.
I have heard the summons.
Speak, fool. That's done it. Let's move. This is more like it. At last. Frostborn hungers. At last.
Look, brothers. The traitor king.
Who? Me?
He is referring to me, Death Knight. These Nerubians will stop at nothing to destroy us.
Frostborn hungers. Speak, fool.
I serve only
No
the
one
frozen
will
throne.
around.
Make your choice.
Speak, fool. You will know endless torment. For the Lich King. What is it now? At last. Finally.
Thank you, Great One. The rebel spiders captured my comrades as well. They're being held in a nearby chamber. Release them, and they will be yours to command.
What is it now?
I've heard the summons.
You will know endless torment.
Speak.
Speak, fool. Tread lightly. No one orders me around. Frostborn hungers. This is more like it. At last. Tread lightly. Finally. The Guardians are activating. Defend yourselves.
My might cannot be matched.
No one orders me. Frostborn hungers. Speak, fool.
I serve only the frozen
No one will
throne.
Tread lightly.
Your choice.
What is it?
Time is fleeting.
No one orders me around. This is what life is. For the Lich King.
My might cannot be matched.
For the Lich King. Faithless coward.
Time is fleeting. Indubitably. By
Tread lightly.
Nerub,
Finally.
time is now.
At last. Finally. This is more like it. Speak, fool. Frostborn hungers.
Must be it.
No one orders me around. This is more like it. Finally.
I said, slay the intruders. Wait.
Speak, fool. This is more like it.
Wait. My Nerub.
Tread lightly. No one orders me around.
You ran.
Tread lightly.
I await.
No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers. Speak, fool.
Death to the servants of Ner'zhul. Eggs of our young are incubated within those breeding pods. There's no telling how many vicious hatchlings they hold.
You were right. They're definitely hostile. We've got to destroy the breeding pods.
We could also seal the doors to shut the hatchlings in.
No one orders me. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally. At last. Finally. At last.
I have drive the foul undead back to the surface. My might cannot be matched.
No one orders me.
I have heard the summons.
For the Lich King.
My might cannot be matched. Speak. Time is fleeting.
Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. Tread lightly.
Make your choice.
Speak, fool. Finally. At last.
Speak.
Tread lightly.
Proceed.
Speak, fool. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. Finally. What the hell are they?
They are the horrors the dwarves spoke of. I thought they were only legends.
What?
They are the faceless ones.
Finally. I'll make sure you suffer. What is it now? You will know endless.
I serve only the frozen throne.
No one orders me around. Now, Frostmourne.
Proceed.
What is it now? You will know endless torment. Speak, fool. Frostmourne hungers. No one orders me around. Finally. Your pain shall end it.
I have heard the summons.
Tread lightly. No one orders me around.
My might cannot be matched.
Tread lightly. Now, Frostmourne.
You ran. Time is fleeting. Indubitably. I wait.
What is it now?
My might cannot be matched.
Frostmourne hungers.
Proceed. I wait.
No one orders me around.
Make your choice. Wait.
Tread lightly. At last.
Yes, master. It cannot be. A forgotten one. Look to your defenses, Death Knights. Fight as you've never fought before. I have heard the summons. Make your choice. Time is fleeting. I'll consume the living and the dead. Proceed. I await. Proceed. Make your choice.
No one orders me around.
My might cannot be matched. Speak.
What is it?
I serve only the frozen throne.
Speak. Finally. At last. Finally.
Time is fleeting. Make your choice. We cannot take them all. Hurry, Death Knight. Up the stairwell. Hurry.
We're running out of time, Anub'arak. How far are we from the exit?
Not far. We have entered the Upper Kingdom. The exit should lead us to the base of the glacier itself. However, there are still hidden traps and pitfalls to account for.
Take cover!
Arthas!
The entire passage collapsed. There's no time to dig through this. I'll have to move quickly and find my own way out. Hopefully Anub'arak and the others survived.
Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like...
I'll be singed if I get too close to those flames.
At last. Frostmourne hungers.
I'll need this gold for when I reach the glacier.
At last. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers.
In the Rubian's blasted mechanisms. I'll have to time this perfectly.
This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. At last. This is more like it.
Inventory is full.
Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
More gold. This might help us later.
Frostmourne hungers. At last. Finally.
Another quake?
Frostmourne hungers. At last.
Faithless coward.
For the Lich King. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. Now Frostmourne. At last. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers.
Your pain shall be legendary.
This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it.
I must find a way across this strange obstacle.
For the Lich King. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. I'll make sure you suffer. Now, Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it. At last. This is more like it. At last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. This is more like it.
Inventory is full.
Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it. Ah, at last. This is more like it.
Faithless coward. Your pain shall be legendary.
For the Lich King. Finally. Ah, at last. Frostmourne hungers.
Anub'arak, you made it.
I see now why the Lich King chose you as his champion, Death Knight. Few men could have survived this labyrinth alone.
Finally. Ah, at last. Frostmourne.
Another earthquake. We must hurry, Death Knight.
Something's breaking through. Defensive positions!
Ah, at last.
I have heard the summons.
No one orders me around. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
They're
Finally.
blocking the way to the exit. We'll have to fight our way through them to reach it.
Speak, fool.
We'll see.
Our forces are under attack.
What is it now? No one orders me around.
Make your choice.
What is it now?
You
Tread lightly. Frostmourne hungers.
time is fleeting.
What is it now? This is more like it. Frostmourne hungers. This is more like it.
We're running out of time. We must find the exit.
Speak, fool. This is more like it. Tread lightly. What is it now? Ah, at last.
I have heard the summons.
No one will me around. Faithless coward.
Time is fleeting. By no
What is it now? For the Lich King. Now. Speak. No one has me around. Finally. This is more like it. Finally. Frostmourne hungers. Finally.
Now quickly, head through that door. The exit to the surface lies just beyond.
It'll be good to see the sun again.
Remember, Illidan and the true battle still await us in the world above. Hopefully our trek through the Dark Earth bought us the precious time we needed.